I wanted to talk a little bit about relationships and how the things we saw that happened 10 years ago are reverberating this season. And Krys, I'd like to talk about Danielle's relationship with Gordo.
Hmm.
Um, Danielle's the one person who I think these women have made incredible sacrifices, but Danielle seems really at peace with what she's done. Gordo,
Hmm.
however, is a mess. Like Gordo seems like he can't deal with what Danielle did for him.
Yeah.
Um, he's really struggling, and yet they remain close friends. And I wonder
Hmm.
if you could talk if we're going to see that play out more in season two, as Danielle is determined to move past that sacrifice, and Gordo can't.
I think that the relationship between Danny and Gordo is totally extraordinary and also totally ordinary. I think we all have people in our lives who we hate to love and love to hate. I think that she sees him like family. You know, these guys are spending, I think it was 144 days in our story on the lunar surface. And in real life, it was actually Krys, Michael, and Joel shooting the show for 14 hours a day for 2 weeks straight. So I know intimately what that feeling is like of being in such close quarters with someone where at some points you just want to kiss them on the lips and at some points you just want to punch them in the face. So that relationship is complicated and interesting and also really natural and normal. So I think, you know, for Gordo, there's a real sort of humiliation of being rescued by Danielle. And I think we see him struggle to make peace with that throughout season two. And for Danielle, this sacrifice that she's made, although she knew going into it that it would be a doozy, she's seeing the repercussions for that sacrifice a decade later. So we're watching her have to fight for her own reputation, fight to protect her honor, fight to create her own space in this world, and fight to be a commander.
Great, thanks. And Wrenn, certainly Margot has made sacrifices. She basically has no life outside of NASA. Um, her friends, doesn't even go to her apartment. But Margot is one of Margot sacrificed somebody else also. Like she's one of the few people we saw her turn her back on Leda and like sacrifice this teenager. Maybe I shouldn't say sacrifice, but she turned her back. Um, there have been repercussions for Aleda. Now, it's no spoiler. I think viewers know that the adult Aleda has been cast and it's gonna be in this season. And can you talk a little bit about like what that has meant to Margot and what it might mean when they come back into each other's lives?
I feel like it's interesting because I've tangentially come across comments about Margot and Aleda and how people felt about that scene. And at the time when I was reading it, I certainly I certainly can see that point of view, but I think I also looked at it as Margot's responsible for all of these people that are currently in space and their lives are at stake. And this is like her responsibility. And as much as she would absolutely love to, in some ways, drop everything and take care of this young girl because she knows what it feels like to be left out in the cold by an adult who, you really look up to. I also think that for her, it's kind of like, you know what my job is, you know what my responsibilities are. Like, it's kind of crazy that you're asking this of me right now. So, I mean, that's always the kind of the way that I walked into that scene. I really felt like both of those things have to be present. Her heart both has to be breaking because the timing just could not be worse. And at the same time, Margot's so dedicated to the mission and the safety of the people that are in space. That I also think for her, it's, there's a little bit of a barb there too, which I completely understand the audience not maybe seeing, because she's the adult and Aledo's still a kid. But it was a lot of fun to kind of explore like what that guilt is like for Margot in the second season and, how it's shaped, her and for lack of a better way of putting like how she might repair that.
Great. Well, thanks so much. Our viewers are looking forward to see what happens. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Karen.
Karen.
Take
Bye.
care.
Thank you, Karen.